Hi everyone, this is my curricular adaptation project, and I will be using the lesson plan Developing Effective Writing Skills by Nilakshi Harith. So these are some of the learning objectives from the original lesson plan. Um, so choose a topic using pre-writing tools such as observation, reading, free writing, and WH questions, which are who, what, when, where, why, and how. The second objective is narrow the focus using more pre-writing tools such as brainstorming, idea mapping, and internet surfing. The third one is use the information gathered as supporting details in a paragraph. The fourth is to provide proper concluding sentences. And the fifth is using peer review to checklist students' essays. So the original lesson plan, I have a little screenshot of it here. Um, So the lesson plan provides an opportunity for the students to use pre-writing models to develop a topic into a paragraph, including a proper sentence, supporting details, and a concluding sentence. So it's really just listing a lesson plan on teaching students how to look at pictures and pretty much taking that information and start writing a small paragraph that they should apply to their reflective essay by the end of the lesson. But I made some modifications on that. So here's the second slide about the lesson plan. So, what are the strengths of this lesson plan? I listed a few. It's a student-led activity. It's a very student-led activity, so the original lesson does give students freedom in their writing. Students are expected to think critically and take charge of their learning, which is great because it allows students to interact with the material on a deeper level and account for their work. So, students that are very involved in their learning take ownership of what they've learned and what they've produced from what they've learned. The second one is promoting group work. So the lesson does expect students to communicate with their peers and collaborate productively. This fosters a sense of trust in students that they can stay on task without constant supervision. So when the teacher leaves the table, students, can they stay on task without going off topic, and how are they communicating with their peers? The third one is that it does limit teacher talk. So the teacher is not it's not a lot of instruction time during this lesson plan, but I do add some instruction time in my modifications because I feel that it wasn't enough time towards instruction. But the original lesson plan did allow a lot of it did limit teacher talk, so students will have more time to talk in the classroom. I know we talked about that 4% of English learners don't speak very much in the day, so that was a very good strength for this lesson, the original lesson plan. So, what needs improvement? I gathered three. It's instruction, language development, and scaffolding and modeling. So, on instruction, the original lesson plan did not have a specific isolated time for instruction period, but I did isolate 20 minutes for that because I believe at least 20 minutes should be spent for the teacher to kind of go over what the students will be learning and, make sure you can just determine if any students have any questions about the writing process, and just make sure every student in the classroom is aware of what the writing process means, not just assuming that all students kind of know where to start. Um, but yeah, the instruction just shows students what they need to learn, what they should aim for in their writing. So that's why educators should provide examples that model paragraphs of good writing and bad writing. So during the instruction period, teachers can provide examples on the board, or they can show videos to the class about good writing techniques, and use this time pretty much to just answer any questions that students have. Because without this time, I feel like you're just jumping into them writing, which is not how writing works because it's a process. So, language development. The original lesson plan didn't really have many opportunities for language development, which should be incorporated throughout the procedure because this is a lesson aimed at English learner students. So they do need opportunities for language development because that's what this whole thing is about. But instead of using pictures as the original lesson plan suggests, I think that students should watch a short video. Or read a short article as the main subject of their writing. So once they watch that video, can they answer questions about that video? Or once they read the article, can they answer a prompt I think that allows them to think more critically. And strategic teachers can also use this as a way to uh, create an environment of stretched language, because if you choose a video that's at a higher level than what the students are normally working at, students will have to use their language development. They'll have to use more language to understand what they're listening to or what they're reading. So it kind of combines listening and reading techniques in the instruction. So yeah, the visual examples of the writing will allow students to know exactly what uh, they should look for in their own writing. And English language learners do need a lot of practice with this. So to enrich their language, I think that um, teachers should do the video instead of the pictures, because the pictures really are just, they don't allow you to think critically about the information. It's just kind of however a student wants to um, interpret the picture, and then that makes it harder for the teachers to kind of provide feedback, because so many different students have so many different ways they're interpreting that picture. So yeah, language development was a very big issue I saw with the original plan. So I just think that incorporating some more techniques on developing language was really important. So the final one is scaffolding and modeling. This is the biggest issue, because in the original lesson plan, there is absolutely no scaffolding involved, which was crazy, because English language learners do need you need to have room and time for scaffolding and modeling, proper paragraph structure, proper writing process. Um, so one of the scaffolding methods that I kind of came up with was strategic buddies. So this is very easy for teachers to include in types of scaffolding. The original lesson plan did say to group students of mixed abilities, but didn't kind of elaborate on what that means. So I did. Basically, pairing strong students with weaker ones to allow stronger students to model good behaviors, and that should lead to deeper understanding, because if you have a student that works at a higher level and they really understand the concepts of the writing process quite quickly, they can help their peers that need a little bit more guidance, and they might be able to explain it to them better than even the teacher might. So students not only are going to be communicating with their peers through this, which develops their peer relationships, but it'll also develop their language use, because they'll have to talk to their strategic buddy, and they'll have to uh, basically use whatever language they know so far to be able to communicate to their peer what they're understanding, what they're not understanding. The second one is graphic organizers and highlighters. I think that students should be given graphic organizers for writing. I know that it helped me a lot with the writing process, um, seeing the main idea, seeing the topic sentence and the supporting details, kind of uh, making it very visual. Um, to learn the writing process, because it's really hard to just tell somebody how they should write. So I think students should be given a graphic organizer, and then they should also uh, be told to highlight. They should use a mock paragraph to kind of highlight. Should use a mock paragraph to highlight the different sentences in that paragraph, like highlight the topic sentence in the color red, or highlight the supporting details in green, and then the concluding sentence in yellow. So kind of separating the sentences visually might help students retain that information better. Um, but I think that using visual aids will help kind of seat the information in the student's mind a bit more, because it'll be more engaging, and it'll just be good for all the students in the classroom, but especially those that need additional support uh, on the writing process. So, just reiterating what I just said about the scaffolding and modeling, but this is an example. So, I think that students should be grouped into mixed ability groups, and provide each group with an outline sheet or a graphic organizer. Each group should be given a mock paragraph with a topic sentence, supporting details, and concluding sentence. So, teachers should tell students to highlight the topic sentence, supporting details, and conclusion in 3 different colors, and then write them on their graphic organizer sheet in the correct area. So this is kind of what I mean. I found this off of Google. So you have the graphic organizer here with the topic sentence and the 3 areas for supporting details and the concluding sentence. So with the mock paragraph, the students are going to pretty much highlight each of those sentences, and then after that, they're going to write those sentences in the correct space on the graphic organizer. So I kind of think this is a good exercise, because students will have to not only listen to what the teacher is saying, so they're going to be listening to language, reading it, and then also writing it. So you're going to combine a lot of different mechanics of the writing process all together in one, because I think that, that builds critical thinking more and language development use. So yeah, when students can visually see the different types of sentence structures, they can properly, use their best handwriting and try to write the sentence as well. So this would be really good for English language learners because they will, like I said, they'll be able to hear the language, uh, listen to it. They'll be able to listen to the language, read it, and then also write it. So combining all of those mechanics. So, just some advice I want to leave off with was I think the original lesson plan was too short. So, 60 minutes is way too little for, trying to teach the writing process, but also having them write their own paragraph by the end of that time. That's just way too short. Um, so, I think that at least the period should at least be increased to 85 to 90 minutes. But even with that, teachers should repeat this lesson many times, I think, in maybe twice a week until students are very confident in writing. So the second one is that during the preparation stage, teachers should prompt students to raise their hands if they want to read the lesson objectives. So during preparation, teachers should kind of list out what students are going to be doing for the day, and they should allow students to raise their hands if they want to read the objectives. So that's going to give students a chance to read what's on the board, which is going to help them with their pronunciation and language development. But it's important to choose students of multiple reading levels because you don't want to pick the best readers every time. You want to pick somebody that also um, maybe struggles a little bit with the reading, but encourage them that they are getting better, and just encourage them to volunteer more with reading. The third one is to not assess students on their writing. So this was a big issue with the original plan lesson plan because they uh, incorporated an assessment at the end of the lesson, which I think, like I said, it's only a 60-minute period. Students should not be assessed on writing this early. It's way too quick. So I know with writing for me that it takes a long time to develop your style and your confidence. So you should definitely give students a lot of practice with writing. So like I said, to repeat this lesson at least twice during the school year, which I think is still too little, but at least twice during the school year, and then tell students to keep a folder of their work. Tell them to put away their each paper that they do at the end of this lesson, so they can see their progress and they can kind of read all of their little paragraphs by the end of, let's say, the semester or by a certain point. But if you must have an assessment, I think teachers should aim for a multiple choice test on writing elements and structure, kind of asking what's a topic sentence or what is the supporting detail in this paragraph, some type of multiple choice on test on that. But once students do become comfortable with writing confidently, I think that you can assign a narrative or reflective essay, a very simple one, straightforward rubric, straightforward prompt, something easy for them to kind of do a complete essay on, maybe about 2 pages or so. Not something super crazy, but yeah, I just think that the original lesson plan wanted to assess the students way too quickly, so that was a big issue with me. So here's my final notes. I just think that all of these improvements should enhance student engagement and learning. It's very important to maintain the strong qualities of the original lesson plan, like the prioritizing independence and limiting teacher talk, because you want students to talk in the classroom if they're supposed to be learning this language. Because if students are quiet, they're not using the language that they're supposed to be using. The modifications suggested do keep those values in mind, but I also did prioritize the need for extra scaffolding because that's really important with any students, but especially English language learners. So the modified lesson plan will teach students good writing skills, but will also develop their language and word usage better.